Aloha, my name is Byron Kay, the owner of Kona Honu Divers. There are many things that make Kona Honu Divers different from all the other dive shops out there. We are the highest rated and most reviewed dive company in all of Hawaii.
It's amazing. Yeah, great crew, really good dive masters.
All right, Thrive Nation, I know that many of you out there have a small business and maybe you feel like your business is stuck. However, Napoleon Hill, the best-selling author of a book called Think and Grow Rich, he once said that a goal is a dream with a deadline. A goal is a dream with a deadline. So the question is, when are you going to turn your dreams into reality? And so occasionally, I'd say about 25 people a week reach out to us at thrivetimeshow.com, and they schedule an assessment with me. And probably 5 of the 25 are potentially a good fit. And usually once a month, we onboard a new client. We like to manage a client portfolio of 160 clients because it allows us to get in the trenches with clients and get to know our clients and help our clients achieve their goals. And today we're here to celebrate a client who's been turning his dreams into reality for quite a while as a self-employed business owner from the great state of Hawaii. And so now, without any further ado, I introduce you to Byron Kay. Byron, welcome on to the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
Aloha, I'm fantastic.
So Byron, tell everybody, what's your web address if people want to verify that you are a real person, that you have a real company?
It's KonaHonuDivers.com. KONAHONU divers.com.
And how long have you been self-employed?
Well, with this business, it's been about 6 years, a little over 6 years.
6 years. Okay. And so how did you originally hear about us?
Your podcast.
Okay. Were you listening on iTunes, or were you listening on
Yeah.
do you know where it was?
I use iTunes. I use the Apple Podcast app. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So you heard about us on the podcast, and what made you actually want to fill out the form and take action? Because, a lot of times people think, well, it's probably good that other people are having success, but I'll put it off till next year. What made you decide to actually fill out the form?
Yeah, I don't think it was so much that the testimonials of other people, although that obviously never hurts. I typically am not a reviews reading kind of guy, but I know other people are. But it was the things that you were saying. I know that there was validity to the things you're saying because I just kind of have that knowledge base as far as like how to get people through Google and marketing on the internet, which is a lot of what you teach. And just a lot of the things you're saying rang true from a lot of the books that you were reading or talking about, like Napoleon Hill, for example.
Yeah.
So I knew that you were kind of already knew what you're talking about just from everything that you're saying. And clearly you do, because it's worked for me.
Well, now let's talk about it, because we've been able to work together through, I believe, the most challenging time in American history outside of maybe wartime. Hawaii, it's been severely locked down. It has been probably the most locked down state in the union. It has been a challenging year, but yet we've continued to push through. So let's talk about it. First off, we had to go through and help you with the website and just optimize the website. How long did the process take from when we first onboarded you as a client to optimizing the website?
Well, I would say that the web work and the website is kind of a constant process.
Right.
But yeah, the website was pretty good. What I think you guys did, because I have an SEO expert and she's very good, but what you guys did was you kind of took it to the ground game where you really made the website perform, in that when people arrive on the site, they see these features and marketing tools that engage them and that encourage them to click and to trust, I guess is probably the best way to put it.
And so on your website, again, it's KonaHonuDivers.com, KonaHonu divers.com. Have you increased the number of leads that you're receiving now? Has the number gone up?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we've taken a much larger portion of the market share. It's a very competitive market, the scuba diving industry here in Hawaii. And so we've taken a larger proportion of the market. And also we're able to sell at we sell the similar products at higher cost. And we're also getting a higher proportion of online bookings, direct online bookings, than we received previously.
Do you have any ideas of percentage, how much your sales have increased? Do you have like a percentage there or no?
Yeah. So like, for example, last week, I think we had done, so basically we increased our sales over, I want to say over 20% from 2019. Was it 2019? It was 2019. So yeah, from 2019, we were up well over 20%.
Awesome. Now you, with your business, once you get more leads, you also have to fulfill. You've got to be able to hire people. Talk to the listeners out there about how we've been able to work together to improve your hiring processes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that group interview is a really great idea. Here, it's very challenging to do the group interview because a lot of our leads are coming from out of state right now. We're getting more in state. But yeah, the group interview is really efficient. I like the process there. You've helped kind of put systems in place. So I'm posting job ads weekly. I'm also creating videos to encourage people to come and, to see they'll see the video, and then the video encourages them to click and fill out a form. Part of business is making things easy. So my business coach, Andrew, shout out to Andrew. He helped me put a form on my hiring page that makes it very simple and easy to just, apply in essence. And so I can get more leads more easily and reach out more easily.
I will say one of the things that's been a joy of working with you is Andrew. Now, the way it works here, folks, if you don't know how our system works, is we have 160 clients. And so we probably have, like I said, some weeks, 25 people reach out. It's interesting how in January, we might have 50 people a week reach out for consulting because it's the new year. Some people want to have a new business, a new approach in the new year. But we average about 25 people a week that reach out. And we have a team on the phone that calls each and every person who's inquiring, and they try to find out if they think they would be a good fit or not. And if they are a good fit, then they schedule a one-on-one consultation with myself. And then what I do is I make a plan specifically coordinated and designed for that business owner. And then the moment that we begin implementing the plan together, we help the clients with photography, videography, web development, search engine optimization, hiring, best practice systems. But once we start doing that, there's a lot of variables that go along the way. And so we have coaches, or you might call it a consultant or a point man, who leads the client down the path. And so Andrew's been able to work with you. And Andrew always has great things to say about you and your brand and your business because you're so passionate about your clients and your customers and making sure they have a good experience. So it becomes very easy to work with somebody if they're easy. We enjoy working with people who are diligent, who love to implement these processes. I know we've worked with you a lot on building checklists. Because again, you start with a marketing problem. Let's say we need more leads, more customers. Then we have to hire great people to keep up with all those leads. And then we have to have systems in place so that our heads don't explode because there's so many details. And if you forget a small detail, it could create a big problem. Tell us about the systems and checklists that we worked on together.
Yeah, so I have like a master systems document where it houses all of these checklists and systems that we're putting in place. Yeah. And so, there's so many employees in this business doing so many different varied tasks and job roles that it's very difficult to train somebody and to ensure that they're doing things consistently without a checklist. And so the checklists are very important. I mean, doctors and airline pilots use them. So putting them in place, is one thing, but actually putting them in place, making sure everybody has them, they're trained up on them, and then consistently following up on them is very important. And I have my own checklists that I use, and I do a lot of the marketing and the hiring, and those are some of the primary duties on my checklist. But the nice thing about it is when you put them all together in a master document, then you can create a web page where they're all, where it's easy for everybody to find everything. And then you can easily find all these documents, and it's just allows for a much more consistent experience in your business because the systems are being followed. And so, with that consistency, you're delivering a product that is going to be of higher quality because you're doing the things that need to get done on a regular basis to achieve that.
Now, I want to read a notable quotable to you and to our listeners out there. This is a notable quotable that comes to us from a book called Checklist Manifesto, one of my favorite books. Love that book. I love Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I love that book so much. I named my son after Napoleon Hill. My son's name is Aubrey Napoleon Hill Clark. That's his name. I love Checklist Manifesto. I did not name any of my kids after the author Atul Gawande, but let me read this to you. It says, we don't like checklists. They can be painstaking. They're not much fun. But I don't think the issue here is mere laziness. There's something deeper, more visceral going on when people walk away, not only from saving lives, but from making money. It somehow feels beneath us to use a checklist, an embarrassment. It runs counter to deeply held beliefs about how the truly great among us, those we aspire to be, handle situations of high stakes and complexity. The truly great are daring. They improvise. They do not have protocols and checklists. Maybe our idea of heroism needs updating. Now, I will tell you, his book, Checklist Manifesto, one of the things that blew my mind about that book was how many people actually die in a hospital because nobody will follow a checklist. I mean, this is in his book, he breaks down literally thousands and thousands of people were dying per year in certain hospital systems because people were forgetting to actually clean the skin of a patient. People were forgetting to read the chart of the patient and what they were allergic to and what they weren't allergic to before treating them. I mean, it is absolutely alarming what will happen in a business when you don't use a checklist. And it's terrifying what will happen in a business when you don't use a checklist and your business is in the hospital healthcare field. Let's talk about, so we got the checklist we covered. We talked about hiring. We talked about managing people. Let's talk about just signage and banners and feather signs and getting people's attention. How have we worked with you to create signs and banners and things like that to get people's attention?
Yeah, my landlord actually complains because of how many signs I put out.
Oh yeah, that's good marketing.
That's good. That means you're doing it right. I have created a lot of like feather flags that you've helped me create, and banners and more banners. And I have this giant, massive flag that's 6 feet or 8 feet long by 4 or 6 feet tall, something like that. I have a ton of signs. And really, it does help bring in more leads because I track that.
Yeah.
And so I can see when people come in because they've seen our signs, and it helps them to find us as well. I think the banners and the signs are very effective because not only do I have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, but they're usually we'll stack them, put 2 or 3 together. And it really helps draw people's attention and let them know that you even exist in the world, because otherwise you just kind of blend in and nobody's really out there looking for you. They're just looking for the product or service. So if you can get more in their face, I think that's what you've helped me do, is kind of get more in people's face.
Now, the other thing that we did together that's been I think a bonding thing is during the lockdowns, we had 160 clients that were scrambling to get the Paycheck Protection Program money. And I have never been busier in my life. I always wake up at 3 a.m. every day. That's my flow. I get up at 3 a.m. I like to work till about 6, and then go to bed at 9. That's kind of my flow. But during that paycheck protection time of the lockdown, I mean, we had 160 clients that were looking for Paycheck Protection Program. Plus, we had thousands of listeners looking for the Paycheck Protection Program funding. Brett Denton, one of our longtime clients, he owns a gym up in Boise. He worked with a local bank to help business owners he helped over 1,000 entrepreneurs to get business saving financial funding during the lockdowns. Did we work with you at all during that process at all? Or could you maybe share about that experience working with us during that crisis moment?
Yeah, you guys were on top of it. You kind of reached out to everybody and helped disseminate that crucial information on how to apply, the steps, to take to get the money, how, everything. So yeah, you guys were really great help and really great support as far as that was concerned. And I, really appreciate that you took that extra effort and extra time to really make that happen.
We're all in it together, man. I'm telling you what. Now, let's talk about the tracking situation here. I know that tracking for me, when I started my first company, DJ Connection, wasn't very fun, and I wasn't very good at it. But once I nailed it, now I started my first business when I was in high school, so I was about 20 years old when I figured out the power of tracking. And tracking works like this. Just as an example, we're doing these Reawaken America Tour events right now. And I know that in order to fill up a venue with 3,500 attendees, we need 3,500 attendees. Oh yeah, that's the math. And I know that in order to get 3,500 attendees, we need to get in front of, this is going to blow people's minds, but in order to get 3,500 people to actually show up to an event, we need to speak to almost 10,000 people. And in order to speak to 10,000 people, 10,000 leads, we'll call it, we need to actually be on a minimum of 30 to 40 shows a week to promote the message. So that means, like last week in my schedule, I have 42 spots in my schedule open for interviews, and all of them were filled last week with interviews. And that's how it works. It's a math thing. When I ran the DJ business back in the day, I knew that in order to book 4,000 events a year, I needed to get about 12,000 leads. And to get 12,000 leads, you just start doing the math. And the math is maybe not fun for people, but once you master the math, then it just becomes a math equation. Let's talk about tracking numbers and visualizing growth and finding how that's helped you to find out what works and what doesn't work. Tell us about tracking.
Yeah, I'd say tracking is very important because it takes the maybe your intuition or what you think is working or not working, or it just kind of takes the warm and fuzzy out of it, out of business, and it turns it into cold hard data, which you can then use to make informed decisions. So I think it's very important because it tells you what's working and not working with a hard number that can very easily be turned into more numbers, like how many customers you get through the door determines how much money you make, because each customer on average spends a certain amount of money. So that's really what this comes down to is, it's everything can be broken down into those kind of equations, those formulas, the math, and those hard numbers.
What would you say to anybody out there that is considering going to thrivetimeshow.com/EO-FIRE right now? That's where they go, thrivetimeshow.com, thrivetimeshow.com. And specifically, if you go to the link, thrivetimeshow.com/EO-FIRE, and you can schedule a free 13-point assessment. What would you say to anybody out there that's pondering reaching out, who's maybe, hesitant to fill out the form because they go, I don't want to be put on a spam list where I get emailed every day, a motivational tip. I don't want to have a sales team doggedly call me every single day to convince me to sign up for some contractually bound magic money system. I don't want to be working with some guy that charges me extra fees every month that there's a lot of people have had bad experiences with consulting firms. What would you say to somebody thinking about reaching out?
Well, I would say that if you're not willing to put in the effort to make a change and make improvements in your business, then don't fill it out. That's what I would say.
We work with you on a month-to-month basis, which means that you're not contractually bound. It also means that for my sanity, I don't have to work with someone that won't implement the systems, which is, for me, very important, because there are some people, it's kind of weird, who actually want to ask questions and then don't want to implement what they're learning. I call these people ask holes. Ask holes. How big of an impact did it make on you once you discovered that it was month to month and that there were no extra random fees?
Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to, well, for one thing, you get what you pay for. So, if the service is worth it, then you're going to have to pay something for it. And secondarily, there's a lot of subscriptions you may have that you don't utilize. Well, this one is probably one of the most subscription, if you consider it a subscription, it's probably one of the most important subscriptions you could possibly have, because it's what can form the basis of a successful business for you, which then can open up a lot of doors and freedom and life improvements and the whole foundation for a better life. So it's probably one of the most important subscription services, and you should be utilizing it most effectively, actually following those steps. And if you're not willing to do that, then that's fine. But, I am where I am because I've been willing to do it. And,
right.
Things take effort. And a lot of this stuff is not, it's not that complicated. It's not that hard to comprehend. It's just, you have to do it, and it takes effort.
Well, final question I have here for you. This is interesting because you and I are I think, very similar in certain ways, as I've gotten to know you over the years and talked to you a few times on the phone. I'm not the kind of guy that reads a lot of reviews before I buy something. I'm the kind of guy that does my own research. And I almost pride myself on not doing what most people do. That's just kind of my deal. So I'll go to a restaurant that maybe has bad reviews just to see if it's good. These are things I do because I've been an entrepreneur since I was 15 years old. So I see how companies can be attacked online. I see what online reputation can do to a business, both good and bad. I know we started working with you on online reputation management, gathering objective Google reviews and video reviews from actual customers. How has that helped your business, the gathering of actual objective reviews from real clients?
Yeah, I mean, it's great because for one thing, as a business owner, it's almost like another a way to track how things are going, because if you watch them yourself, you can see from the testimonials what people are saying about your business, and it's off the cuff. It's not a written review. So that's kind of nice just to have that data, if you will, about how it's going. Secondarily, it's basically a social proof, which shows other people that there are real people that, maybe they're not actors or models, but they're real people that have had a good benefit from the product or service that you offer. Yeah. And so that is really the social proof that helps push people over the edge if they're on the edge about whether or not to commit to participating in your business. That it really, kind of helps show them that it's real. It's real, it shows them that it's real and that there's other real people.
Now, my final comment I have here, and I'll let you go, is I want to know what time is it for you right now? Because it is 2:27 p.m. right now as of January 9th for this interview. What time is it for you?
Yeah, it's 10:27 here in the morning.
Is the weather great every day in Hawaii?
Pretty much. I mean, even when the weather's not great, people will complain, but when it's not great, it's still, relatively speaking, pretty damn great.
How intense are the lockdowns right now in Hawaii?
Not too bad, but it's all relative. It's probably much worse than some other places. So restaurants are open. Air travel is only restricted in that people need to have vaccinations or testing done, but people can still come. Boats are not restricted because I run boats. So boats are not really restricted as far as capacity. So it's not draconian at this point as far as, people just have to wear masks inside. Oh, I think they wouldn't allow more than 10-person gatherings recently outside. But compared to before, it's much better.
Well, I really do appreciate you being here. Thank you for your time there. Hope you have a great rest of your day, Byron. And for anybody out there looking to go scuba diving in Hawaii, that you go to KonaHonuDivers.com. It's KONAHONU divers.com. What island are you on?
We're on the Big Island, the volcano with the lava coming out.
The Big Island? Is that thing pretty active?
Yeah, there's lava coming out right now. There's a lava lake and it's great.
It's great. You're excited about this?
Yeah, it's fun. You can go check it out.
Oh, it sounds terrifying, but also entertaining. Hey, thank you, brother. I really do appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Clay.
The boat is fantastic, as you can see.
At Kona Honu, they're the best on the island. They were so friendly. The crew's awesome. They made us feel right at home.
We're a one-stop shop, which means if you're looking for dive apparel, to get your equipment repaired, or to go diving, we got it all.
Texas Aggies like diving with the Kona Honu Diver.
I started Kona Honu Divers back in 2015 because I saw a need for a quality dive operation where divers could go and get excellent service, know that they would be taken care of.
It's been amazing. It's our very first dive in open water in an ocean. So we're kind of nervous about that. When we wanted to find something special enough, we would actually kind of hold our hands a little bit. So far, that's been the case, and we're very thrilled to be here.
It was awesome. One of the best dives I've done in Hawaii. Everybody should try this.
Our core values are safety, kindness, passion, stewardship, and most of all, fun.
It was so awesome. I had to bring my friends.
Absolutely amazing, so majestic. Got hit in the head a couple times, but it was awesome. Highly recommend it. Do it with your friends, do it with your family.
Everything we do here and all of the decisions we make day to day reflect these values. We want for your experience to be memorable and for you to come back each and every time you visit our island.
We're having a great time. Highly recommend it.
Right now, we're offering free nitrox and dive package pricing. This means that the more you dive, the more you save.
Really impressed with this outfit. I've dealt with a lot of dive operators. This is by far the best. Everything from the boats to the equipment, and most importantly, the staff has been nothing but the best.
We're confident you're going to love your experience here with Kona Honu Divers. This is because so many divers keep coming back year after year to dive with us.
Hi, my name's Esther. This is my 3rd year diving with Kona Honu. I feel like their crew always does a great job looking out for safety, looking out for guests, helping us find good things in the water. Great customer service as always.
This is our first time diving in Hawaii, and we're now on our 3rd day. They are an outstanding firm. The professionalism has been
Top-notch.
And we've dived in many different places around the world, so we have a lot to compare it to.
If you're watching this video, you can go to our website and click the Book Now button. You can see up-to-date pricing and availabilities there, or you can come into our shop, talk to our friendly staff, and get some dives booked.
So
Amazing. I saw 2 manta rays.
Woohoo!
A little crab.
Sharks.
Great
diving, great boat. We'll be back for sure.
Awesome. Great day.
Alternatively, you can give us a call, 808-324-4668. Once again, it's 808-324-4668.
You gotta come down here. You gotta check this place out. I've been on plenty of dives. This is the best one.
Great time, lots of fun critters to see, great guides, great service.
In case you missed it, we offer free nitrox and dive package pricing. This means that the more dives you book, the more you're going to save.
Today was a great experience. I dove with Kona Honu divers 15 years ago. The new Kona Honu divers is just as good, if not better. It's the only dive company that respects your air time and gives you maximum depth time. So they pair you off and they let the people that have used all of their air come up, and the people that haven't used their air, they respect that time and give you maximum dive time, which is very perfect. It's awesome. We love Kona Honu divers. They're great.
If you're watching this, you can go to our website, www.konahonudivers.com, and book online, or give us a call, 808-324-4668.
Best day ever. Super.
We look forward to diving with you soon.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
Okay, Aaron Antis, March 6th and 7th. March 6th and 7th, guess who's coming to Tulsa, Jerusalem?
Ooh, Santa Claus?
No, that's March. March 6th and 7th, You're going to be joined by Robert Kiyosaki.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Probably the best-selling, or one of the best-selling business authors of all time. And he's going to be joined with Eric Trump. He'll be joined by Eric Trump. So we got Eric Trump and Robert Kiyosaki in the same place. Aaron, why should everybody show up to hear Robert Kiyosaki?
Well, you got billions of dollars of business experience between those two, not to mention many, many, many millions of books have been sold. Many, many millionaires have been made from the books that have been sold by Robert Kiyosaki. I happen to be one of them. I learned from the man. He was the inspiration. That book was the inspiration for me to get the entrepreneurial spirit, as many other people.
Now, since you won't brag on yourself, I will. You've sold billions of dollars of houses, am I correct?
That is true.
And the book that kickstarted it all for you
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the author, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, the guy that kickstarted your career.
Yeah.
He's going to be here.
He's going to be here. I'm pumped.
And now Eric Trump, people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. There's not 50 employees. The Trump organization, again, most people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. And while Donald J. Trump was the 45th president of these United States and soon to be the 47th president of these United States, he needed someone to run the companies for him. And so the man that runs the Trump organization for Donald J. Trump, as he was the 45th president of the United States and now the 47th president of the United States, is Eric Trump. And so Eric Trump is here to talk about time management, promoting from within, marketing, branding, quality control, sales systems, workflow design, workflow mapping, how to build. I mean, everything that you see, the Trump hotels, the Trump golf courses, all their products, the man who manages billions of dollars of real estate and thousands of employees is here to teach us how to do it.
You are talking about one of the greatest brands on the planet from a business standpoint.
Right.
I mean, who else has been able to create a brand like the Trump brand? I mean, look at it. And this is the man behind the business for the last pretty much since 2015. He's been the man behind it. So you're talking, we're into 9 going into 10 years of him running it, and we get to tap into that knowledge. That's going to be amazing.
Now, think about this for a second. Would you buy a ticket just to see Robert Kiyosaki and Eric Trump? Of course you would.
Of course you would.
But we're also going to be joined by Sean Baker. This is the best-selling author, the guy who invented the carnivore diet.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Sean Baker. He's been on Joe Rogan multiple times. He's going to be joining us. So you've got Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Eric Trump, Sean Baker. The lineup continues to grow, and this is how we do our tickets here at the Thrivetime Show. If you want to get a VIP ticket, you can absolutely do it. It's $500 for a VIP ticket. We've always done it that way. Now, if you want to take a general admission ticket, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. And the reason why I do that, and the reason why we do that is because we want to make our events affordable for everybody. I grew up without money. I totally understand what it's like to be the tight spot. So if you want to attend, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. That's how I do it. And it's $500 for a VIP ticket. Now, we only have limited seating here. With the most people we've ever had in this building was for the Jim Brewer presentation. Jim Brewer came here, the legendary comedian Jim Brewer came to Tulsa, and we had 419 people that were here. 419 people.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, there's no more room. I felt kind of bad that a couple people had VIP seats in the men's restroom. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. But I thought, you know what? We should probably add on. So we're adding on what we call the upper deck, or the top shelf. So the seats are very close to the presenters, but we're actually building right now. We're adding on to the facility to make room to accommodate about another 30 attendees or more. So again, if you want to get tickets for this event, all you have to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. When you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you'll go there, you'll request a ticket, boom. Or if you want to text me, if you want a little bit faster service, you say, I want you to call me right now. Just text my number. It's my cell phone number, my personal cell phone number. We'll keep that private between you, me, everybody. We'll keep that private. In anybody. Don't share that with anybody except for everybody. That's my private cell phone number. It's 918-851-0102. 918-851-0102. I know we have a lot of Spanish-speaking people that attend these conferences, and so to be bilingually sensitive, my cell phone number is 918-851-0102.
That is not actually bilingual. That's just saying Juan for a one. It's not the same thing.
I think you're attacking me. Now, let's talk about this. Now, what kind of stuff will you learn at the Thrivetime Show workshop? So, Aaron, you've been to many of these over the past 7-8 years. So let's talk about it. I'll tee up the thing, and then you tell me what you're going to learn here, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
You're going to learn marketing and branding. What are we going to learn about marketing and branding?
Oh, yeah. We're going to dive into, so many people say, I got to get my brand known out there, like the Trump brand, right? You want to get that brand out there. It's like, how do I actually make people know what my business is and make it a household name? You're going to learn some intricacies of how you can do that.
You're going to learn sales. So many people struggle to sell something. This just in, your business will go to hell if you can't sell. So we're going to teach you sales. We're going to teach you search engine optimization, how to come up top in the search engine results. We're going to teach you how to manage people. Aaron, you have managed, no exaggeration, hundreds of people throughout throughout your career and thousands of contractors, and most people struggle with managing people. Why does everybody have to learn how to manage people?
Well, because first of all, people are, you either have great people or you have people who suck. And so it can be a challenge. You know, learning how to work with a large group of people and get everybody pulling in the same direction can be a challenge. But if you have the right systems, you have the right processes, and you're really good at selecting great ones, and we have a process we teach about how to find great people. When you start with the people who have a great attitude, they're teachable, they're driven, all of those things, then, you know, you can get those people all pulling in the same direction.
So we're going to teach you branding, marketing, sales, search engine optimization. We're going to teach you accounting. We're going to teach you personal finance, how to manage your finance. We're going to teach you time management. How do you manage your time? How do you get more done during a typical day? How do you build an organization if you're not organized? How do you do organization? How do you build an org chart? Everything that you need to know to start and grow a business will be taught during this 2-day interactive business workshop. Now, let me tell you how the format is set up here. And again, folks, this is a 2-day interactive 15. Think about this, folks. It's 2 days. Each day it starts at 7 a.m. and it goes until 5 p.m. So from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., 2 days. It's a 2-day interactive workshop. The way we do it is we do a 30-minute teaching session, and then we break for 15 minutes for a question and answer session. So, Aaron, what kind of great stuff happens during that 15-minute question and answer session after every teaching session?
I actually think it's the best part about the workshops, because here's what happens. I've been to lots of these things over the years. I've paid many thousands of dollars to go to them. And you go in there and they talk in vague generalities, and they're constantly upselling you for something, trying to get you to buy this thing or that thing or this program or this membership. And you leave not getting your very specific questions answered about your business or your employees or what you're doing on your marketing. And what's awesome about this is we literally answer every single question that any person asks, and it's very specific to what your business is.
And what we do is we allow you as the attendee to write your questions on the whiteboard.
Yep.
And then we literally, as you mentioned, we answer every single question on the whiteboard. And then we take a 15-minute break to stretch and to make it entertaining when you're stretching. And this is a true story. When you get up and stretch, you'll be greeted by mariachis. There's going to probably be alpaca here, llamas, helicopter rides, a coffee bar, a snow cone. I mean, there's just...
You had a crocodile one time. That was pretty interesting.
You know, I should write that down and actually do that.
Sorry for that one guy that we lost.
The crocodile, we duct taped its face so that we duct taped.
No, it was a baby crocodile.
And it was duct tape.
Yeah, duct tape around the mouth so it didn't bite anybody. But it was really cool passing that thing around and
I should do that. We have a small petting zoo that will be assembled. It's going to be great. And then you're in the company of hundreds of entrepreneurs. So there's not a lot of people in America today. In fact, there's less than 10 million people today, according to U.S. Debt Clock, that identify as being self-employed. So if you have a country with 350 million people, that means you have less than 3% of our population that's even self-employed. Yeah. So you only have 3 out of every 100 people in America that are self-employed to begin with. And when Inc. magazine reports that 96% of businesses fail by default, you have a 1 out of 1,000 chance of succeeding in the game of business.
It's tough.
But yet the average client that you and I work with, we can typically double this. And this is no hyperbole, no exaggeration. And I have thousands of testimonials to back this up. We have thousands of testimonials to back it up. But when you work with a home builder, when I work with a business owner, we can typically double the size of the company within 24 months.
Yeah.
Double. And you say double? Yeah, there's businesses that we have tripled. There's businesses we've grown 8x. There's so many examples you can see at thrivetimeshow.com. But again, this is the most interactive, best business workshop on the planet. This is objectively the highest rated and most reviewed business workshop on the planet. And then you add to that Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You add to that Eric Trump, the man that runs the Trump Organization. You add to that Sean Baker. Now you might say, but Clay, is there more? I need more. Well, okay, Tom Wheelwright is the wealth strategist for Robert Kiyosaki. So people say, Robert Kiyosaki, who's his financial wealth advisor? Who's the guy who manages, who's his wealth strategist? His wealth strategist, Tom Wheelwright, will be here. And you say, Clay, I'm not going to get a ticket unless you give me more. Okay, fine. We're going to serve you the same meal both days. True story. We cater in the food, and because I keep it simple. I literally bring in the same food both days for lunch. It's Ted Escondido's, an incredible Mexican restaurant. That's going to happen. And Jill Donovan, our good friend, who is the founder of Rustic Cuff. She started that company in her home, and now she sells millions of dollars of apparel and products. That's rusticcuff.com. And someone says, I want more. This is not enough.
Give me more.
Okay. I'm not going to mention their names right now because I'm working on it behind the scenes here. But we've got one guy who's given me a verbal to be here. And this is a guy who's one of the wealthiest people in Oklahoma. And nobody really knows who he is because he's built systems that are very utilitarian, that offer a lot of value. He's made a lot of money in it's where you rent. It's short term. It's where you're renting storage spaces. He's a storage space guy. He owns what do you call that? The rental,
storage space.
Storage units. This guy owns storage units. He owns railroad cars. He owns a lot of assets that make money on a daily basis, but they're not like customer facing. Most people don't know who owns the mini storage facility, or most people don't know who owns the warehouse that's passively making money. Most people don't know who owns the railroad cars, but this guy, he's given me a verbal that he will be here, and we just continue to add more and more success stories. So if you're out there today and you want to change your life, you want to give yourself an incredible gift, you want a life-changing experience, you want to learn how to start and grow a company, go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go there right now, thrivetimeshow.com. Request a ticket for the 2-day interactive event. Again, the day here is March 6th and 7th. March 6th and 7th, we just got confirmation. Robert Kiyosaki, best-selling author, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he'll be here. Eric Trump, the man who leads the Trump organization. It's going to be a blasty blast. There's no upsells. Aaron, I could not be more excited about this event.
I think it is incredible. And there's somebody out there right now, you're watching and you're like, but I already signed up for this incredible other program called Smoke Your Way to Thin. You think that's going to change your life? I promise you this will be 10 times better than that.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
Now, don't do the Smoke Your Way to Thin conference. That is, I've tried it. Don't do it.
Yeah, chain smoking is not a viable. I mean, it is life-changing. It is life-changing. If you become a chain smoker, it is life-changing.
Not the best weight loss program, though.
Right, really. So if you're looking to have life-changing results in a way that won't cause you to have a stoma, get your tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's Aaron Antis. I'm Clay Clark, and reminding you and inviting you to come out to the 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show workshop right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I promise you it will be a life-changing experience. We can't wait to see you right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.